Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
Temperatures for us are cooling off just a bit. Those numbers now falling back into the 30s from 33 degrees in Freeport down to 32 right now in Rockford, 30 in Belvidere. Our winds will stay light and we'll see just a couple more clouds kind of roll in as we still remain under the influence of high pressure this evening. As our temperatures fall back for us this evening, those numbers down back into the lower 20s tomorrow morning. Not quite as cold as the past couple of mornings, and our temperatures will continue to remain warmer here as we head into the weekend. I'll have more on that and the dry trend too. That is all coming up in the forecast a little later.
A successful Rockford businessman described as having a big heart has passed away. Tony Artali's son chokes back tears as he shares memories of his dad. Even with the approval of COVID vaccines on the horizon, public health officials urge everyone to stay home for the holidays. A local educator explains how families can start new pandemic-safe Christmas traditions. And Winnebago County's new state's attorney settles into his job. Jay Hanley tells us what he hopes to accomplish early on as the top prosecutor. Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. Mimi Murphy is off tonight. A state line man's death recently from COVID-19 affects far beyond his own family. They say Tony Artali made his community better by giving back to people in need. His son and business partner tells Alexis Carpello Tony left a lasting legacy.
I would say, more importantly, hug the ones you love, because you don't know if you'll ever see them again.
Antonino Artale, commonly known as Tony, passed away from COVID-19 complications. His son and business partner emotional after having to say his last goodbye to his father in the hospital on the ventilator over FaceTime.
He always was there for us when we ever needed something. He grew up in Sicily, lived there until he was 14. He probably could have been a professional soccer player. He was that good, but his family had to move to the U.S.
Artale planted his roots in Rockford, married and raised a family here.
It was pretty difficult, not not being able to speak English, but he was super nice, always had a smile, made a lot of friends right away, and it became a little bit easier for him.
Over 10 years ago, the father-son duo used their love of wine to open Artale Wine & Co.
We wanted to build a business that we can pass down to the next generation, and hopefully they can pass down to the generation after that.
Tony was described as having a huge heart, and it showed.
They're going to remember just how kind and generous he was, how he would always go out of his way to make people feel good, how he was always there for them, how he just lit up a room. Those are going to be everybody's favorite memories about my dad.
Coming up tonight on Eyewitness News, hear more about Artale's dedication to helping his community. Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Alexis Carpello.
Our region's 7-day rolling coronavirus positivity rate sees a slight increase. It's 15%. It was 14.8 yesterday. Winnebago County is also up to 15.7. That's an increase of about half a percentage point. Illinois' health department also reported more than 200 COVID-related fatalities in a single day for the first time. There were nearly 240. However, the rise was due to a delay in reporting deaths over the holiday weekend. A Rockford educator shares tips on how you and your family can start a new COVID-safe holiday tradition. Kim Nelson is the executive director of early childhood education at Rockford Public Schools. She says parents should include their children during planning for the holidays. Moms and dads can also have their kids perform their own pretend TV show. You can then record those and send that to friends and family or stream the show live. Nelson also has a message for parents and guardians.
Do something to nurture yourself, adjust your own expectations, look at that big picture, and most importantly, remember that our children take cues from us. If you maintain a positive, festive, and calm demeanor, your children will pick up on that and do the same.
Nelson adds you should get excited about things you can still do safely during the pandemic and put your energy towards those activities. Hospital administrators in Illinois say they're worried about the number of COVID patients in the ICU. Today, there are nearly 1,200 people across the state who are in intensive care battling the virus. Health experts say if infections continue to rise, staffing counts, not bed counts, become the issue.
As the number of positive in the community increases, the likelihood that our clinicians and nurses also get COVID and cannot work increases.
Dr. Sater reminds the public to follow the 3 W's in an effort to keep the number of new COVID cases down. That's wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear a mask. Nursing home staff in the Chicago area have been on strike for 10 days. Workers with Infinity Nursing Home walked off the job after they claim there's not enough PPE. They also want hazard pay because of the pandemic. Service Employees International Union leaders say the proposal they've submitted is affordable for Infinity and will make workers happy.
These residents deserve the best, and they can't get the best if the workers are getting the least. These workers deserve to be treated with love and respect and honor, given that they are opening their hearts every day and putting their lives at risk for your family and for my family.
Nearly 700 employees across 11 facilities are on strike. The next round of negotiations is scheduled for tomorrow. Winnebago County has a new top prosecutor. Yesterday, we told you Jay Hanley was sworn in. Michelle Rave visited him for his first full day on the job. She tells us some of the things Hanley wants to accomplish right away.
It's the first full day for the new Winnebago County State's Attorney. As Jay Hanley settles into his new office, he created a team to help him transition to the role of the top prosecutor. And he's in good company, with former State's Attorney Paul Lobley and former 17th Circuit Court Judge Rosemary Collins standing beside him. Hanley wants to look deeper into the gun pandemic in the community, as well as the connection between mental health and the justice system. But one of his primary goals is to establish trust between his staff, community leaders, and Winnebago County as a whole.
And my intention is to go to the community, to the leaders within the community, to the judges, and really talk about my vision and our vision and their vision, and be as collaborative as possible from day one.
Reporting in Winnebago County for your home team, I'm Michelle Rave.
A Roscoe woman is charged for causing a 4-car crash at a busy Roscoe intersection. 43-year-old Stephanie Reinecke faces charges, including DUI and failing to reduce speed to avoid an accident. We first told you about this crash last night. It happened around 5:45, where 251 and McDonald Road meet. Investigators tell us one person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. That person is expected to be okay. A Rockford teenager is behind bars accused of shooting at police. RPD says an officer spotted 2 cars chasing each other last night on 11th Street. As police followed the vehicles, 19-year-old Javaris Laster allegedly shot at the other vehicle and the squad car. Laster was arrested. Investigators tell us they recovered a loaded handgun, marijuana, and cash. Laster faces a list of charges, including aggravated discharge of a weapon and unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. The recent breakthrough in the Tammy Tracy case has Rockford police once again asking people to help solve another murder. In 2011, Natasha Cleary and her sons were shot to death in their home on Canterbury Lane. The house was then set on fire. A day later, investigators discovered a blurry image of a masked man trying to withdraw money from an ATM with Cleary's debit card.
When 2 of the victims are children, the most innocent among, the most innocent members of our community, it's a particularly big tragedy. And the fact that people in our community would be willing to sit silent with information that could help bring the killer or killers to justice just adds to the tragedy.
If you have any information about that crime, call Rockford Police or leave an anonymous Crime Stoppers tip. 4 people, including a close friend of Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan, enter not guilty pleas in a federal bribery case involving ComEd. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the Capitol. Former ComEd lobbyists Michael McLean, Jay Doherty, and John Hooker, and former ComEd Chief Executive Ann Pramajor were indicted last month. All are accused of falsifying company records and creating off-book accounts. Prosecutors say those were used to disguise payments in an 8-year-long corruption scheme. The utility company already admitted to offering Madigan's associates jobs, contracts, and payments. In exchange, the company believed Madigan would reportedly help influence laws regarding rates ComEd could charge customers. The House Speaker has not been charged. He denies any wrongdoing. More than $100 million from Rockford sales tax is going to fix different areas around the city. We already told you aldermen passed the capital improvement program Monday. One of the projects is improvements to the 11th Street corridor. The city is responsible for the street from Charles to Harrison. Many parts of that stretch are full of potholes and very bumpy railroad tracks. Rockford traffic engineer Jeremy Carter says the city wants to hear from the public before making any changes.
What we are doing is studying the corridor and getting public engagement to find out what people would like to see on along the corridor. This is not unusual. We did this for South Main. We did it for North Main. Before we do any major projects on a road, we do this type of studying so that we can get public input.
There's a virtual open house going on right now to get some of that public input. If you'd like to join in, just click on the link in this story over at mystateline.com. Illinois State Police says it's reduced a DNA backlog by nearly 50%. In March 2019, the backlog consisted of nearly 9,300 pending assignments. As of last Monday, that's now less than 4,900. According to State Police, they are completing 20% more assignments per month compared to 2019. ISP credits increasing lab capacity about a year ago. Troopers also say the department hired more scientists to help with the backlog. For the first time in months, Illinois does not set a record for legal pot sales. Illinois' Department of Financial and Professional Regulation reports about $75.2 million in marijuana sales in November. 54.5 of that came from in-state customers. October is still the highest with nearly $75.3 million. Total sales this year are expected to be well over $600 million. Did you notice a lot of cars driving around over the weekend with Christmas trees strapped to the roof? There's a huge demand for real trees this year across the country and right here in the state line. Pam Erickson owns Valley View Farm in Roscoe. In the 45 years she's been in the business, she's seen more people buy fresh trees this year than any other time.
I think everybody just wants to have a nice Christmas, and it's a way that they can share decorating and doing something family-wise and not have to worry about the virus.
Erickson says while there won't be milk and cookies available for kids to munch on this year, families can still bring their children out and have them help in picking out the Christmas tree.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candice King.
Temperatures once again fell back in the teens for most of us. 19 degrees in Rockford, 16 our low temperature in Freeport, 15 down in Rochelle, and all the way down to 13 degrees in Galena. But highs this afternoon made it into the mid and upper 40s, officially reaching 49 degrees in Rockford, 45 in Rochelle, DeKalb, Freeport, and also 45 degrees up in Monroe. Let's talk about, though, why we had such a big temperature spread this afternoon. That's because we had a pretty dry atmosphere in place. In fact, an atmosphere that has very little moisture in it is able to warm up more effectively and efficiently than an atmosphere that has more water vapor or more moisture in it. And that's because our air molecules and the water vapor molecules in a dry atmosphere are able to move around more freely. So they get a little bit more energized, and that helps to warm up the surrounding air mass versus an air mass that has more moisture in it. Those molecules a little more sluggish, so you usually do not see that big of a temperature spread throughout the day. And that was pretty impressive, 30 degrees from morning to afternoon, given the time of year we are in and just how low that sun angle sits. We still are pretty dry out there. Dew point numbers for most of us in the teens, but you see as we pull in a little more moisture, those numbers will climb into the 20s, and that'll keep us for most out of the teens tonight. 23 degrees, that's where we had for our overnight low. Relatively quiet evening. You've noticed a little more cloud cover coming in for us, especially this afternoon from the west and south. We'll see that trend as we head throughout the day tomorrow. Live look with our Mercy SkyTrack camera up in Beloit, Wisconsin. Beautiful out there and a very comfortable evening too. In fact, our skies for the most part will stay mostly clear. 33 in Rockford, 28 in Belvedere, 36 in Janesville, and 35 our temperature in Monroe. Not much of a wind out there too, so we really don't have too much of a wind chill factor. Our weather watcher Jim here in Rockford checking in this last hour at 36. And a dew point number sitting at 13. No rain or snow to speak of, and really we are going to stay pretty dry here over the next Real days. I have to say a big thank you to Dave and his wife in Freeport for sharing their holiday picture. House all decorated. Share your photos with me. cking@WTVO.com. Would love to see those Christmas pictures. And you've got some lights. Maybe you've got some things to do outdoors these next couple of days. Should actually be pretty nice. And while tomorrow won't be quite as warm as what we were today, temperatures should still manage those 40s for the afternoon. Now we're kind of sandwiched between two systems. We've got a weak area of low pressure to the north, a big area of low pressure down to the south, bringing snow and rain across the far southern plains. That is going to bypass us to our south. We might get on the northern fringe of some cloud cover over the next couple of days as that kind of works to our south, and then our another system kind of works in from the north. But with limited moisture in the atmosphere, things for us are going to stay fairly dry, and that trend continues as we head into the weekend. 43 degrees, that's our high temperature for tomorrow. A little breezy at times with that wind coming in from the west and then shifting around to the southwest. Low 40s through the weekend. Might see a little bit of a dip here as we head towards Sunday, but trends still point to those numbers climbing back into the 40s as we head into early next week.
We look forward to the increase in temps after the weekend. Candice, thanks. David Greenberg's in with sports. How about the Illini cracking the top 5?
Brad Underwood's got a pretty good squad under his belt, but they've got a big matchup tonight against a fellow top 5 opponent. Plus, it's a special someone's birthday today. That's all next in sports.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
There's no question the coronavirus has brought many things to the sports world that we thought we'd never see, like the NBA playoffs being played in a bubble and an MLB season being shortened by 102 games. So what's one more thing? How about a Wednesday afternoon football game? That's right, the Steelers and Ravens kicked off at 2:40 local time. There was a lot of question whether this game would be played or not, as more than 20 Ravens were diagnosed or exposed to COVID. This one, not a particularly high-scoring contest. In the first, Robert Griffin III gets the snap, drops back. He throws in an easy interception to the hands of Joe Hayden, who returns it for the score. Again, no Lamar Jackson for the Ravens, as well as running backs Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins. So here's backup Gus Edwards punching it in from a couple yards out to give the Ravens the lead. But the Steelers' defense was too strong, and their offense wasn't too bad either. There's Big Ben connecting with Juju Smith-Schuster on the game-sealing touchdown catch. Steelers remain unbeaten. They pick up the win in the first ever Wednesday afternoon matinee. The 5th-ranked Illini men's basketball team will square off tonight against the 2nd-ranked Baylor Bears. This is the highest the Illini have been ranked since 2005. Tip-off tonight set for 9 p.m.
Playing for this program, big games like this, I consider a legacy game for the whole program. These are games that, you dream of playing in. I mean, this is the main reason. One of the main reasons I decided to come back to playing games like this.
For the Packers, the week after beating the Bears always feels good, but for Aaron Rodgers, he's celebrating a little extra today. The Packers quarterback turns 37 years young. There's no question he's one of the all-time greats to ever play the position, but at his age, he leaves many people wondering how he's been so effective. Let's see what his head coach has to say.
I don't know how he does it, but he's doing it. We're fortunate, again, to have a guy of that caliber, and he's the guy that he makes everybody around him better, and you can see it every time he steps out on that field.
The Bears and Lions will meet again this Sunday. Bears are looking to snap a 5-game losing skid. Mitchell Trubisky will be the assumed starter again, as Nick Foles is still out with a hip injury. Despite the juggling quarterback act, this team has been able to rely on receiver Allen Robinson. He said all it takes is one game to get them back on track.
I think as cliche as that may sound, it's the truth. In this league, looking back at however many games we lost, we still have 5 games ahead of us. So each and every week it's a different opponent, until the season is over. So for us, it's about right now, we have Detroit this week, and that's our main focus.
We had a lot of sunshine today, and it actually boosted our temperatures really quickly. But you said that that's really because the air is so dry.
It is. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Have you noticed your skin a little more dry?
A little itchy. Although I swam at the Y today, so I always feel like the chlorine does that. But maybe today more than normal.
Yeah, just because it has been so dry the last couple of days, and that might be something you kind of notice. But our temperatures will stay in the 40s and fairly warm here, too. Our first warn interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Things are going to be pretty quiet here as we go through the night tonight. Temperatures down in the low low 20s, up to 43 for tomorrow. We might see a few more clouds from time to time these next couple of days, but the big story is the dry weather. I mean, you've got maybe just a slight chance for a flurry or two heading into the weekend, but that would be pretty much it. It looks like we continue that dry trend as we head into next week.
Snow lovers may not be happy with that, but we'll take it.
We may change towards the middle to end of the month.
Thanks, Candice. Stay safe.